Hey everyone, Mtashed here, and with Destiny 2 coming, I know a lot of people are trying to upgrade their setups, whether it's on PC or on the PS4 or Xbox, but I wanted to reach out because if you guys are buying things like Scuff, DX Racer, Control Freaks, anything like that, I actually have discount codes for those products. Now, not to sugarcoat things, it will directly support me if you use those codes, but more importantly, it'll give you 5 to 10% off those products. So I wanted to share the codes, I wanted to talk about a couple of the products and why you might want to upgrade, why you might want to think about upgrading, etc, etc. So let's get right into it. Back in the Halo 2, Halo 3 days, I played Claw constantly. It was to allow me to press buttons while holding my thumbs on the thumbstick. This is a little picture of it in the corner you can see. That is the Claw setup for the most part. Now, for most people, it's not a big issue, but when I did it, it actually made my wrist very sore. I almost got carpal tunnel. It was so bad on my wrist, and I had to quit doing it, or else my wrist would never heal. And it took like a year and a half for my wrist to fully heal. It honestly, it messed me the fuck up. And when I found out that you could use a Scuff controller to have access to all the buttons, while having access to the thumbsticks and not messing up your wrist, I was very excited about it. A Scuff controller essentially has buttons on the back that can be mapped to the current buttons on your controller. So if you want the paddle on the right to do your slide function, you can. If you want your paddle on the left to do your jump, you can. And for a game like Destiny where there is a lot of jumping and sliding, it can definitely be an advantage. Is it cheating? I don't think so. You could do the same thing with Claw. But if you're worried about your wrists or you just want an easier way to have access to more buttons or easier buttons, I think a Scuff is a great controller. Are they cheap? No. They are probably baseline double the price of a regular controller. They start out at like $120, $130. You can also get really cool skins on them and things like that, but you're going to start amping the price very quickly, up into almost $200, maybe even $250 if you got every single thing on it. If I were to make a recommendation to you, as someone that doesn't want to invest a bunch of money, you can also send in your controller and they'll edit it for you. They'll turn it into a Scuff with a regular controller. So if you have an extra one sitting around, that might be an option, or I guess the cheapest option for you. The other option is just buying a controller from them. You don't have to worry about shipping your controller and then shipping it back to you, etc. And that'll be about $130, and that is where I would start. If you want to get all custom with it, you can, but I really don't know if the looks are worth it. You know, I don't want you spending extra money that you don't need. Just buy a base Scuff and you have everything you need for the most part. If you want 5% off that Scuff at checkout, after you put in your information you're paying, there should be a spot for redeem code. That's where you enter Mtashed and it'll instantly give you 5% off. I know it's not a crazy discount, but it's better than paying full price. Next up is going to be a headset. I don't know if you've heard or not, but the audio engineering for Destiny 2 is going to be much different than Destiny 1. To the point where enemy footsteps, gunshots, super abilities, etc. are going to be much easier to hear from a distance. Potentially further than your radar will show up, especially if they're crouching. What this means is if you have a good headset, you'll be able to take advantage of that and know where enemies are before sometimes they know where you are. Especially if they're using speakers for their audio and not a headset. I'm sponsored by Astro Gaming, and I personally use the Astro A50s. One of the reasons why is because I dance a lot on stream and I like the wireless, features. But also, the EQ settings, the equalizer settings you can use on the Astro A50s is huge. You can actually set up profiles for different games like PUBG or Destiny and optimize it for the gunshots, the footsteps, and kind of the music for that game separately. So I can switch between the two instantly. I'm a big fan of that. If you don't want to go the A50 route, which is the most expensive option, you can also go for the Astro A40 TRs. They are corded, but they have a lot of the same features. You can customize your game audio, you can customize settings for it. So the Astro A40 TRs are fantastic. And if you just want a cheaper headset, something that'll work and be better than just speakers, the Astro A10s are fantastic. They're the cheapest option from Astro. If you haven't had a headset before, I recommend just picking up one of those to start because it's got a solid audio file on it, but it's not going to drop you $200-300 like the other ones. Now, to get 5% off these, there are going to be discount links in the description for your region. If you're in Canada, the UK, the US, they all use a different region code. So I'm going to put them all in there. Click the one that applies to you. And when you check out and buy this, it'll give you 5% off right then and there. There's also free shipping, I believe, if you spend over $200, I think. Don't quote me on it. So, you know, if you add on the shipping, you add on the 5% discount, it can get pretty nice. Moving on to gaming chairs, if you've ever wanted a DX Racer, now is the time because I just partnered with them. Like literally yesterday, I just got partnered with DX Racer and they gave me a beautiful, whopping, sexy 10% discount code. If you enter the code Mtashed at checkout, you get 10% off. So if you're buying one of their lower or mid-range chairs, you're going to be saving $20, $30 off your chair. If you're buying one of their big Pumas, one of the big badass chairs, you're going to be saving $50 to $60. That is absolutely amazing. When you factor in tax and shipping and all that stuff, that's going to save you a ton of money. If you're wondering whether or not a chair like this is worth it, you need to remember that if you're a hardcore gamer, if you work from home as well, you're going to be sitting in that chair for 4, 5, 6, 7 hours a day sometimes. Especially on the weekends when you got nothing to do, you want to slay some Destiny. Well, you need a good chair to support your back. You need a good chair to not destroy your posture. And I highly recommend getting a quality chair no matter where it's from. If you're looking at something that looks good and supports your back the way you need, a DX Racer is the way to go. And you can get 10% off. You support me, you support your back. It's a win-win-win-win-win-win-win situation. I had the pleasure of sitting in this thing for an extended period of time at the Guardian Con tournament, and I'm not looking back. I'm never going back to my shitty old office chair that I have now. Now, the final thing I'm going to recommend if you want to amp your setup a little bit would be Control Freaks. If you've never used a Control Freak before, it is going to feel a little bit different because what it does is it extends your thumbstick to give you a little bit more precision with your aiming, with your sniping, things like that. But also, they protect your thumbsticks. So if you go invest $200 into a SCUF controller, you can throw these bad boys on the thumbsticks and keep them mint condition forever. If these end up getting worn out, you can switch to another one for another $20, $30 down the road. But I've had the same thumbsticks on my controller for the past year and a half, and they've never gone away. So they're definitely a nice addition to your controller. It kind of rounds out your build and allows you to have that little extra precision that you're going to want if you're going to want to dome people in Destiny 2. If this is going to be your first time ever using Control Freaks, I definitely recommend getting the shortest ones possible so that your body can adjust. If you go get some extra long ones right off the hop, it's going to feel weird, it's going to take a while to adjust, and you might not like it. Go for the smallest ones possible, and if you want to upgrade from there and get longer ones down the road, you can do that. But start off small, get into it, get adjusted, and then make those changes. To get 10% off those Control Freaks, just enter the promo code Mtashed for 10% off at checkout. Now that's pretty much it for my major discount codes. I am supported by some other companies like Razer, Elgato, but they don't have a direct discount code, so I can't really give you anything off of those products, but I'll shout them out because they have done tremendous things to support me as a gamer, as a streamer, as a YouTuber. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry if this is a bit of a plug or like, you know, scummy, but I really just wanted to share some of the products that I use and give you a discount code if you're going to buy them yourself. That's it for me, and I'll see you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.